am Jean Long, and I ran into an organization called the Ecumenical Institute in 1969 when I was living in New York City. And I went to our basic course called Religious Studies 1 with my oldest brother, who was working with the Ecumenical Institute. And that's what most of us did, who then joined the Ecumenical Institute because of an image change that happened at that Religious Studies 1 course. We were always out to change the pictures that people have in their heads from I can't to I can. And the way that happens is through experience. I, like many of us who joined the Institute, had given up on the local church as a caregiver to the community. And therefore we had given up on practicing our Christian roots. That course made transparent the words God, Christ, Holy Spirit, and church. By that I mean it gave us new pictures of what those words pointed to, and gave us an understanding that those words existed so that we could be those words, not so we could study those words or study whatever those words pointed to. Those words existed so that we could live that kind of caring life. And that's what we were all looking for. That's what our churches had not told us. And so we moved in with each other because we all wanted to live an existence where we could live our care. And so one of the tools that we came up with was this idea that people operate out of pictures in their heads. And if those pictures are not positive, then they're a victim through no fault of their own. Their pictures are of victimization, of failure, of not being able to solve problems, and so on, because that was the pictures that they grew up with. We understood that pictures can be changed, and that's what schools are out for and stuff. But if you don't have the right approach, those pictures only get solidified. You're not open to changing them, you're open to protecting them. So we knew that pictures could be changed, and when the picture changes, the behavior changes. When you change from I can't to I can, then your behavior changes. And so we created a school for women on welfare who needed to go back to work, either because they're divorced or for some reason they've ended up needing welfare to meet the economic needs of their families. So we created a 3-month course that taught them how to type, taught them how to use a calculator. We even became an actual company with a president and typists and salesmen and everything, so that they, during the course of the 3 months, actually worked in an office with a role. We also studied papers with them that helped them to understand a different way of thinking, a different way of being successful. Their story when they came was, I'm nobody. I'm only a mother. I'm only a housekeeper. I haven't done anything with my life. How can I possibly get a job? You know? And we said, oh my Lord, do you know how many skills you know as a housekeeper? You know time management, you know people management, you know how to purchase resources, you know how to project into the future so that you can. And it was like, for 3 months, when they said I can't, we had them, they were captive. They had to come every day and listen to us rehearse another story, another record. And we literally would say to them, okay, take that record, out of your 45 record player and put this one in, because that one goes nowhere. This one, how do you feel when we play this one? Oh, I just open up inside. And so for 3 months, we got a chance to work on 30 women's pictures of failure and unsuccess. They learned to type. They actually physically were, that picture was changed, because there they were sitting at the typewriter. Some of them got up to 60 words a minute in 3 months. Others could type slowly but accurately. And so they actually experienced being successful at a tool that would allow them to get a clerical job. So that, and then we had, the school was located in an office building. So every day when they came to school, they saw 100 people coming in the door dressed to work in an office. That was an indirect message they got every day. And probably a month into the school, we started talking to them about how we made our suits. We didn't say you can go to Goodwill and find suits there and blouses and stuff. We said, well, that's a nice suit, Jean. I said, my mother and I made this suit, or I got this skirt at Goodwill, and they had 3 blouses that would go with it, So we started helping them to understand that to get enough clothes to work 5 days in an office, they didn't need to go to Carson Peary Scott or Macy's, and that we were living examples that you could look good without paying a lot. We also brought in Mary Kay, who did their whole scheme with the women at their desks with the wipes and then Mary Kay said, this is the basic package and we'll sell it to you month by month. You can pay for it monthly. They cooperated with us to work with these women. We had a hairstylist come in to work on both the men and the women to create a new hairstyle. So we, knowing what we knew about how pictures can be changed, we gave them the whole palette, both ideas and experience and people helping them to have access to what we know they needed to have to feel successful and to be successful. And so that was an educational structure, adult educational structure that was totally based on imaginal education, educating the image, so that at the end we placed 85% of every class, and after a year 90% of them still had their jobs. So that kind of care needs to go into helping those people who are operating out of inadequate pictures that cause violence and anger and powerlessness and so on. That's where the solution is in changing a person's picture, in changing a group's or a community's picture. It takes a lot of input, intentional input, for them to experience the success that you want them to experience. So anyway, my life is based on changing people's images, and that's an arrogant thing to say, but I've decided that my care for anyone I meet who is suffering because their images are inadequate, I've decided I have the right to give them pictures that will help them deal with their life more successfully, more generously, I have that right, because other people have given them other images that have only hurt them. So that is an arrogant statement that we made many years ago, that we've decided that our care for their images are better than the care they have had for their images most of their lives. Anyway, that's a story about the change that understanding that people operate out of images gave us, and that for us the key to local development, local peace, local justice is to change the pictures in people's images so that they can understand and participate in a more just, equitable society.